G'day, thanks for joining me. So I thought I'd make another part 2 of the reality of living off grid here in New Zealand. I just want to add a bit of video footage. I've got some old handicam footage of my batch that I built that's in the previous one. It looked like there was quite a bit of interest in that, so I just thought, hey, why not share a little bit more information? So let's have a look at it. Here we are walking out off the deck, out having a look at the pond that I created out the back. That you've probably seen the photos in the previous one, some ducks mulling around on the pond. Ended up being pretty good actually, the old pond. It would blow over the top in the middle of winter. There'd be, as you can imagine, at this height, 420 metres above sea level, there was some quite severe weather in the middle of winter. That's just looking down Laverock's Bay and over the other ridges into a Cairns Bay. It's sort of right up in the very top gully. A bit of a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning after a night. I would treat the place like a batch in the weekend. I'd just go over there on the weekends and live quite happily there. Sometimes my partner would come with me, my wife now, but partner then, and yeah, it was a little bit tidier when she was there. I would have to get myself together. My old Subaru Legacy station wagon. So here's a shot of the extension of the bathroom as I was starting to tile the bathroom floor. So I just taught myself how to do everything. Started the internet when the internet kicked off, 95. So you could freely search a lot of stuff. I was starting this in around 2001, 2002, building the extension out the back, and yeah, I taught myself how to do everything. Some of it wasn't that crash hot, and to be honest, that extension was illegal. There was no consent for it, but yeah, and so I wouldn't advocate doing that if you're going to do something like that. This is a view looking down Laverock's with the mist as it would roll in at the end of the day, sea mist. They'd come up halfway up the bay. Some pretty awesome views, to be honest, to be had. And the bird life was, you know, you really are living in the middle of nature. So this is sort of looking at the batch before I got the excavator over and stripped out all of this and did some landscaping around it and sort of extending in the front of it. I think what we're seeing is a view from down on the road, Shingle Road below it, looking up the drive I'd cut into where the batch is up above, garage up there. Kind of gives you a bit of a rough view of Shingle Road that is around there. Yep, another look at the mess inside the kitchen. The gas hob that I'd talked about in the previous video. Vestfrost freezer. Yep, so this is before I'd brought over the excavator, fuel trailer, etc. to start doing some work around the batch, and further on in the next part of the video you'll see I strip out all that turf and resoil and extend out in front of the batch. I pushed all that area out further and made more living space out in front of it. Yeah. That company, Calcon, that you can see all over that gear's gone now. We're now part of Higgins. So that gear's now become part of Higgins Christchurch. I planted a macrocarpa windbreaker on that top level, which took off. And yeah, the excavator when I got over there, and I think, yeah, this is where I've started cutting out, shaping all the banks. I was extending for an extension to the house, which I was planning before I met my wife. Well, sorry, before we had the children, and that idea got canned. My brother's pushed on with it. And this is as we're starting to rip into
a bit more havoc.
And doing some earthworks around the house. I think you'll see coming up very soon.
Here we go.
Set up the old dumpy. I have the laser. Take some heights. Things starting to happen. Coming up, there's some actual video footage of the excavator working.
So how's that looking now? That's the end of the day.
There we go, I'm ripping into it. An old excavator. Doing a bit of posing. My wife was filming me just running soil in for a wee plant around by the back of the house. Obviously fairly confident I wasn't going to hit the house. I don't reckon I'd like to give that a go now. It's been years since I've been in an excavator properly. I guess it all comes back to you, doesn't it? Like riding a bike. So really fertile soil from around there, a volcanic-y soil right along that ridge. There was massive worms in the soil. Like we're talking a couple 100 mil long. Big fat worms. Yeah, so not worried about the soil being hung up against the building, and yeah, all good. So I could get Sky TV too. You probably saw that dish on the back of the house. Out with the old shovel, doing an actual bit of work. Don't worry about pulling all the weeds out, Tony. Just push all the soil up against the building.
Oh, are you filming it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we'll move through a bit of footage now after it's been tidied up a bit. Yeah, over in that other paddock, I was shifting through a whole lot of logs out. Those trees in front of the house, as I say, there was an old house that used to be there on the very same site, so they're like over 150 years old, those trees, and they're growing typical as all the other native trees do in the area, bent, gnarled, and with the wind. There's my outdoor bath. That's probably was in the previous video, some of the photos. That was awesome, sitting out there at night in a full moon. Just awesome in the middle of summer. You got to be look at the state of it. You got to be pretty hardened.
Stop dancing.
Yep, the cattle up in the paddock up above, having a bit of a sniff of my Subaru in the paddock. I cut a track that went right round. Really nosy cattle.
Well,
they come right up. You lie there on the grass, they come right up and sniff you.
Get out of it.
And here's my wife
Over here we have a P.
Does not been filmed, though. Oh, she goes.
Here we go. Over here we have.
Oh yeah, I made a bit of a rock outcrop in various places down the drive. And I put those like lights that light up, solar lights, and it. This is before I pushed the soil out the front of it. Reshaped all the drive. I grew a massive garden up, veggie garden up above there.
They might.
That's where I'm starting to shape, put some fence posts in for a. I created a bit of a sort of sheltered area from the wind, and planted all along the end, and planted a lawn there as well, which was quite out of it as well, having an actual lawn.
And as you can see,
yeah, I brought in that rock and that tree stump. I wanted to have, you know, that's an old totora stump from a native tree that had died in the area. They're all over the paddock. I brought that in for sort of landscaping, trying to be arty-farty. Yep, and it was raining here the next day.
we got the wet weather gear out. That ain't going to stop us. So there you have it. I'm not really fired up. Right, well this is the next morning.
The fence up.
And you'll notice I've got
Fence had to be completely braced in the end to cope with the wind.
and I've just finished raking.
Yeah, I've raked off all the lawn area that I seeded, and my goodness, did that lawn take off.
So
Bedroom was in that end section. I haven't actually shown you any video footage of that yet. Yeah, that's where I started soiling over the other side of the drive for the veggie garden. Today into the summer. Yep, starting to landscape in that corner.
just picking up to go back to town.
And I built a barbecue over in that far right corner by that rock.
$7:38 on a Saturday night, the 21st of January.
Yep, still a mess inside. Doesn't matter when it was.
So that's there.
Yeah, no. So this area out the back here had come along by then and been tiled, and then there was tiles placed along the wall, you know, where the two colours change, like a barrier sort of part way up. My clawfoot bath I stripped and redid. We went in that end section. Sink went in there.
Or the other colour.
We're not talking top notch, folks. Here we're talking off-grid living at a basic value, you know. All depends how much you want to spend on these things and what your budget is. But this whole project was designed to be done to a budget. And admittedly, the section was very cheap. There's the output bath before I ground it all back and did it. So, you know, can be done. In the next video I'm going to show you some examples of what I would do now if I was living off grid, because it can still be done here in New Zealand. Okay, it's getting a bit dearer, getting a bit harder to do, but it can still be done. And it depends how much of the old pioneering spirit you got in you. Yeah, quick shot of the gas bottles around the other side of the house here then too. So we must be moving into winter. The fire's going there, I noticed.
Yeah, we'll turn the kettle off.
Yep, lots of shots of the front lawn coming along. That was mowed flat in the end. That had taken off a bit, and I don't think I quite built that barbecue area in the end. No, by then either. Yeah, so this is, you can see winter. See the patches of snow up there. You'd get really good falls around here. At the end of this, I'll show some photos of, I'll pin them to the end of it, photos of the snow that was typical in the winter. It was awesome, it really was. It was like a winter wonderland. Of course, you had to have the four-wheel drive to get out. At times, you could get caught there. It's a very old totara tree up there on that slope. And the rest of them are right up in that gully.
Yeah, I mean, I found parts of it quite haunting.
Yep, we most certainly are winter. Oh, I got a PA there, and I used to play in a band before the children came along. I played in bands for years. So yeah, left a bit of snow on the front deck. Must have been a recent fall. Stormy sky above there. I end up having chooks up above there, that veggie garden. This is sort of, there was a lot more came along after this, and had chooks and a pig and veggie garden there. Yeah, so again, to the end of some of this footage, I'll throw some photos after here, just for a bit of a collage of that winter snow that I was talking about. That fire would heat the entire house. There's another bedroom through that door and another through the other end.